Got the game from the old school. Focus on break no rules. Operate on my own truth. I've been making my own moves. I keep hearing this game saying you could be the one if you so choose. Got the game from the old school. Focus on break no rules. Operate on my own truth. I've been making my own moves. I keep hearing this game saying you could be the one if you.
Alright guys, so Fuller coming to you with another video. Shout out to the whole LDBC. If you like this video, go ahead and feel free to subscribe to the page and also like the video. And if you want to stay in the loop with things, just hit the notification icon and you can be notified about what's going on. So I want to do a video on something that's like occurring. It's like an overall occurrence that's happening. And you know, a lot of great thinkers have always spoken about this occurrence, like many more times than once. You know, it's always been spoken about many times. And you know, what I want to talk about is social engineering. And basically what social engineering is in essence, it gets you, like, it's just techniques through different mediums, be it the media, being you know, word of mouth, be it, you know, through actions, be it through you know, basically through literature as well. And you know, these actions, these tactics and these mediums will get you to think otherwise of something than the actual reality of the situation. Malcolm X, you know, Rahmatullah alayhi, he said something that, like, basically is occurring right now. He said that, you know, if you're not careful, these newspapers will actually have you hating the oppressed but loving the oppressor. You know, now we can see this happening right now, and I want to give an example of this. And the best example I see right now, this is going to be one of the biggest examples, is, you know, a friend of mine on Facebook, you know, she's definitely in the know, and she's definitely like progressive thinking and forward thinking woman. She sent me a post. And, you know, in this post, I was like, oh my God, are you serious? So, you know, they have this show. I really don't even know about this show that much. You know, I mean, I've heard about it, but I never really, like, tapped into this show. But they have a show called Jack Ryan. You know, and I guess it has something to do with espionage and stuff like that. You know, secret services and all this. They showed a preview of the show of what's to come, like what they're planning on doing. In that preview, one of the shows basically has to do with illegal arms coming into Venezuela, and the president of Venezuela being presented as a dictator, basically. And, you know, with that being said, the Jack Ryan guy is basically going to be the Captain Save-A-Ho. And, you know, he's going to go in there and he's going to be the guy who stops who prevents the evilness from occurring over there, because according to the synopsis, the dictator wants to destabilize the country. So what they're doing with this and doing this is they're subconsciously social engineering you to believe that, you know, that Venezuela is ran by a dictator, that Venezuela is, you know, that the dictator is doing all kinds of evil and things like that. When in reality, they're not telling you that the sanctions that they're placing on Venezuela, the restrictions on fuel, the fact that they're even contemplating military action, the fact that, you know, they have already tried many coups d'etats and assassination attempts on the current president, is the reason why Venezuela has some of the problems it's having right now. You know, they won't tell you that because it's not in their interest to tell you that. If they told you that, then, you know, we would be singing a different song altogether. You know, we wouldn't be saying, you know, oh, Venezuela is, you know, starving. Venezuela is effed up. A lot of us would be saying Venezuela is under sabotage and that Venezuela is under attack, you know, if we really knew the truth. But because the social engineering, you know, is presented as something else, that is not even the case. Let's move to another example with this ICE. Okay, this ICE, right? You know, ICE, they're just raiding people, and, you know, they have led people to believe that immigrants are here causing all kinds of ruckus, that immigrants are here taking jobs, that immigrants are here, you know, producing welfare babies, and that immigrants are here not contributing to society. You know, that's the narrative that is pushed. So when that narrative is pushed and is subconsciously programmed into someone, then what they're going to do is, you know, they're going to go for the gas and be like, oh, well, yeah, they're right. You know, this is true. This is facts. And so when people, you know, feel this way, you know, it's all bad. You know, it gets bad, and it leads to the raids. And the sad thing about it, you know, some of these, you know, I just read a story earlier, and I'm like, man, see, this is what you get. You know, you actually think he cares about you? But I was reading a story earlier that, you know, that basically, you know, Donald Trump, you know, he has quite a few Cuban supporters. You know, he has a lot of people who support him who are Cuban, and, you know, a lot of times these are like the mestizo, just pure Spaniard Cubans, you know what I mean, who actually support him. But guess what? He's deporting them still. He's still deporting them. So there's a lot of like Latinos who support Trump and who will even go as far as to say that, you know, their fellow Latin brother, you know, who maybe is having a problem getting papers, or who is maybe like going through the motions of getting papers, that he needs to be deported, you know, but then at the same time they're getting deported, you know. And so, you know, Trump has put into these people's heads about immigrants, and I'm not gonna lie, it has affected me a lot. You know, I'm dead serious when I say that, you know, I have to always be on my highest guard anywhere, because of the simple fact that, you know, people are led to believe that, you know, all of us immigrants, even if we don't sound like immigrants, even if we've been in this country for like a long time, that all of us immigrants are, are, you know, just usurpers and, you know, bad seeds and, you know, when this happens, this is how he wins, you know. And so, you know, you always go into a room and you know, you're always going to be looked at in a different way, you know, and it's just enough already, you know. But, you know, I've learned to accept it. You know, nobody's going to test me because, you know, they already know what time it is. When they see me, they know that I'm not like a pushover. That, like, you know, if they want to test me, they're going to fail that test. You know what I mean? Like, and they're gonna fail that test with flying colors. You know what I mean? So this is why this is the way I feel about the whole situation, you know. But it is because of social engineering that we are in these situations that we're in right now. You know, it is because of this that, you know, people feel a certain way about us. And, you know, social engineering is so, you know, it's very strong. I mean, because I'll give you another example of it. You know, let's go for the example with like liberals and stuff like that. You know, liberals, what liberals will do, as I said in the previous videos, liberals will pretend that they're your friends. Liberals will pretend that they're for you and that they're for equal rights, and they'll engineer you to believe like their cause is a just cause, you know, when really their cause is just getting you to do what they want, you know, not getting you to do what's best for you. You know, that's what it comes down to when it comes to these liberals, you know. And what's best for you is not trying to push LGBT and transgender. That's not what's best for you. I'm speaking to my black brethren, you know. And if you get mad at me speaking about this and you're a liberal, then you can kiss my ass, you know. I don't give a care. But anyhow, you know, when you say things like that, when you're pushing this agenda, you know, this is not what's best for you. You know, you have to understand that, you know. But because of social engineering, you're being led to think that it's best for you. In reality, it's not best for you. You know, and so when people do these things, it basically leaves them like just following along, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, there's different ways, there's different levels of social engineering, you know. But I just made this video so we can be aware that, you know, social engineering is occurring all the time, you know, and that you really have to have a mind of your own. You know, you really have to go out there and look for yourself. Like, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. On the set, and when I say the set, I mean my tribe, you know. But I'm not gonna believe the narrative of what the United States presents about these places. You know, United States will social engineer you to believe that people in Cuba are oppressed, that people in these countries are going through something, but it's the reality is quite different. You know, I've been to Cuba and I'm going back to Cuba. You know, same with Venezuela. You know, I'm gonna go to Venezuela. You know, don't get it twisted. I'm gonna go see for myself. You know, I'm definitely going to go to Venezuela. You know, I have a cousin there who studies, so I'm definitely going. You know, and the one of the biggest mishaps of social engineering has to do with the African continent. You know, the Europeans and America will present the African continent as some backwater continent, that there's nothing there, but they're steady trying to get there to rob it dry, you know. And they do this, I kid you not. I kid you not. Like, it irks me to no end. Like, I really ball up my fists when this happens. But I'll give you an example. When I was going to Burkina Faso, you know, I have an uncle who lives in Burkina Faso. For those of you who don't know, you know, my tribe, we spread out a lot. We spread out a lot through West Africa, okay? So if I say I have family there, I do have some family there. But I went to Burkina Faso. I kid you not. The plane had like way more whites than it did Africans. And I was like so pissed off because I knew why they were going over there. You know, and I was just like balling my fists like, golly, man. And this is happening before my very eyes. So they'll tell you that Africa is this. They'll tell you that Africa is that. You know, they'll tell you that, they'll tell you that such and such is this, that, and the other. But the reality is just like quite different, you know, and it pisses me off to no end. You know, it pisses me off because they succeed most of the time. You know, they do. They succeed most of the time. They succeed at making us hate each other with social engineering and everything else, man. But anyway, man, that's all I got for now, man. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think that, like, the whole entertainment industry in this country is social engineering, you know. Because I want to say something. They'll make Africa out to be backwards, Africa out to be this and that, but they're not telling you why it is that way. They're not telling you that they had their hand in making it that way. You know, same with North Korea. You know, they'll social engineer you to believe something about North Korea that is not even the case, you know. But Fula signing out, man. Leave your comments, leave your thoughts. And Jao Rama.